ASSMR. Welcome, friends, to a road trip video. This video details the adventure that me and my girlfriend went on when we drove cross country. It was an astounding trip, and our Honda Pilot was an absolute champion the whole time. We visited lakes like this one in Arizona. You can see the fire pits. This was a campground we stayed at. It was absolutely beautiful, called Canyon Lake. And here we have our little portable grill that we cooked on every single day and made coffee on in the morning. So we had that energy to attack the day with gusto. As you can see, when we were hanging out by the lake, a little gaggle of ducks wanted to come over and say hi. They were these adorable little buddies who ate right out of our hands. They were clearly very accustomed to people. All along the roads we drove, there were these amazing areas to pull over and take photos or get some video footage of just these long stretches of land. We never did see any snakes or scorpions while we were on our journey, but I was really hoping that I saw at least one scorpion. You know, scorpions don't exist in New York where we both live, so I was really hoping to see one, but I'll have to go back. Tonto National Forest was where we spent a lot of the time in Arizona, and I cannot say enough amazing things about its beauty. In this little scenic area, you could see the lake that we kayaked on. That was also where the campground was, and the sun was always shining. This was an area called Pie Town. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it was somewhere along the route from Arizona to Texas. And the town has just a couple hundred people. And there's this country famous pie store called Pioneer. And obviously we grabbed ourselves a couple pies, which were delicious. You know, if you're in Pie Town, you gotta get a pie. Now, this incredible, colorful, fun RV was an Airbnb we actually stayed in one of the nights. It was this really cool, renovated RV that had a bed and it had a bathroom. And the person was nice enough to put it up for rent. And we stayed in there for one night, just in the middle of this sprawling field in Arizona. Just look at that. We were alone. We didn't have any neighbors. It was literally just us underneath the night sky. And because there's such little light pollution, the sky was dancing with stars. Tranquility. That would be one of the words to use to sum up this journey. And now, 238,855 is actually the distance to the moon, I found out via Google. So that was pretty cool. Look at that. It's just this expanse of land. And when the sun set, color just washed over the sky above us, really creating this natural artwork that we felt like we were living in. Of course, every morning started out with a hot cup of coffee as we enjoyed the rays of the sun, as that glowing sphere lifted above the mountains and blessed us with its presence. Along the way, we even stopped off in Roswell, New Mexico, which we all know is famous for aliens, and we went to the Roswell Inn. Look at the little green alien peeking out on the sign. It was just a cool UFO-themed spot that we were able to unwind for the night. Even the key cards had a little alien buddy. And every room had this vibrant neon green light that was almost kind of like you were getting beamed up into an alien spacecraft. And it was just fun. The whole vibe was just very, very fun. Now, we eventually made our way to Houston, Texas, where my cousin lived, and we spent a few days here. This unique chrome sphere was at a park that we were at, and it was beautiful. You know, it was, if anyone's ever been to Houston, it's not really like the Texas you think of when you think of like cowboy hats and oil rigs, but it was just scenic and peaceful, and it was just a welcome change from New York. There was a lot of these parks that had these really beautiful lakes with just shimmering water and these fountains in the middle that just had these geysers of crystal clear water. And we would always, just before sunset, take a nice little stroll around the lake, say hi to all the ducks, and watch as the sun cast its vibrant colors on the clouds above us and then slowly set behind the mountains in the distance. There's really few places better than a peaceful park. A park, I mean, you know, they're designed to just de-stress you. At the end of a long day, you go to a park, you sit on a bench, you walk through the trees, and you just unwind. You allow all the chaos of the day to wash off. This was private property for Windrose residents. Underneath this bridge that we walked under was this really cool graffiti. I just thought it was cool that someone went underneath and kind of spray painted it to make it look like you were under the ocean. Now, this foggy day was in Galveston, Texas. This was actually right next to the beach. And it was so foggy that you really could only see about 100 yards in front of you, and then it looked like the cars and the people were just disappearing into the mist. This was a shot of the shoreline from this little rocky walkway that stretched out into the ocean about 200 yards. It was very dreamlike with the mist. It gave it this impression like you were in a movie or something. And all along the beach were these really colorful tiled benches that had the American flag and the Texas flag kind of built into them. And it was just fun. It added a lot of color to the beige sand in the background. This was the Cape apartment complex where my cousin lived, and it was a really nice apartment complex with some cool vegetation and some trickling streams and a big pond, and no apartment complex is complete without a pool, which we weren't there during the summer, but the summer days in Texas, I hear, are absolutely brutal, so you can imagine that this pool is a popular spot. This little miniature waterfall welcomed you when you pulled into the driveway, and it really set the tone for your experience. It was, as if to say, come on in, unwind, relax, enjoy yourself. Take a load off your mind. Bask in the sunny weather. And embrace everything Houston has to offer. This was a particularly cool fountain. Now what we have here is a hostel in New Orleans. I had never been to New Orleans before, but we stayed in a hostel called Site 61, and it was awesome. It was really nice. The inside area had this really cool tack board where people who stayed in the hostel would write little messages, and they'd tack things onto the countries where they've been, sending little messages to everyone who passed through after them. So that was really, really fun. There was a chessboard set up in the living area in case you wanted to play a game, and that big green body in the chair, that was a big blow-up alien. So funny enough, we had left Roswell, but we couldn't escape the aliens. And this was spray painted on one of the buildings across from the hostel, and I really loved it. It said, "Be NOLA kind." NOLA is New Orleans, Louisiana. Be NOLA kind, reminding us that kindness should live in us all. And this was Alabama. We dare defend our rights. This was just a little concrete slab that was nestled in a rest area. And I just liked it. We dare defend our rights to be happy, our rights to be free, our rights to love each other. And speaking of love, Love's was a truck stop that served as an overnight venture for us a couple of the times. It was a really well-lit spot that we spent time, and we were able to crash there for the night and make our journey the next day. And I wanted to end with this. We are too blessed to be stressed. We are blessed, every single one of us. And we have to constantly remind ourselves how blessed we are, because that's what life is about. Thank you so much for joining me on this road trip. And remember, treat love like your butt and spread it really